G'day viewers, this is the news, the Train Sim World 4 news for the DB-BR218 diesel locomotive, which is coming on the 25th, which is this Tuesday, only a few days away. We can see an image of the 218 sitting in a platform, hauling a rake of passenger cars. It's time to hit the main line with the thundering diesel power. The DB-BR218, developed by TSW, Train Sim Germany, is coming on June 25th. The current German rail network is defined largely by long, high-speed electrified lines, hosting a range of powerful electric locomotives. But that wasn't always the case. A fleet of powerful, noisy, diesel hydraulic locomotives once roamed the tracks, with the DB-BR218 taking up both passenger and freight duties in main and branch lines. I will be recording my normal tutorial for this thing this weekend, and I will stream it on Monday night, 24 hours before release. We can see a pair of 218s hauling a bunch of car carriers here, smoking up the atmosphere appropriately. Prototypes of the 218 were first built in the late 1960s, before the main run of locomotives entered service between 1971 and 1979. They became staple locomotives running across West Germany due to their impressive power output of up to 2,800 horsepower and a top speed of 140 kilometers an hour. Like many German locomotives, their use was extended over many decades, though, through until the early 2000s, with many examples still being active today. As time progressed, they slowly began to be replaced by more efficient diesel multiple units and electric traction as more parts of the network switched to electrified lines. And we can see a 218 alongside its counterpart, Electric 112. Many remain in use for a variety of services, and in recent decades have been allocated to push-pull operations on certain lines, long-distance mainline passenger trains, and hauling out-of-service ICE units, as well as the occasional heritage rail tours. You can see in here there's a view from a cab of a 218, with another 218 passing on the other side. In-game, the DB-BR218 is recreated with a detailed cab and exterior, allowing players to experience the thrill of mainline diesel traction for the first time in Train Sim World. The audio has been sourced from a real-world driver of this type of locomotive, with the exterior also being modelled based on detailed imagery of the real thing. Let's take a look. Ponty horn. That does look like a typically complex German cab, doesn't it? As far as operating the locomotive is concerned, developer Mike from TSG explains this loco, like most other older German classes, needs some patience and foresight when driving it. Yep, typical German locomotive. Its usage is similar to the tap changer locos, such as the BR110, where you need to throttle down before you can start braking. The time needed for going from notch 15 to 2 and then 0 is about 25 seconds. So you really need to think in advance with this one. You can see a snowy DB-BR218 there, with some Dostos behind it. Locomotives handling the snow a little better than the Dostos do. It's also important to use the correct transmission gear for the type of train you run. Gear 2, fast gear, gives you about 160 kilonewtons maximum force at slow speeds, ramping down quickly when getting up to speed. So this is only meant for light trains, running with up to 140 km an hour max speed. Gear 1, slow gear, gains up to 220 kilonewtons of force and is best used with heavy freight trains with a maximum speed of 100 km an hour. The hydrodynamic brake is not that powerful, with only 90 kilonewtons of maximum braking force, but it can be quite useful for maintaining speed down gradients. It's coupled to the train brake as usual and uses brake blending with the pneumatic brake. Cold starting the locomotive also requires patience and can take some time. Otherwise, it's a fun and easy to drive locomotive. The routes, services and gameplay. So it'll be available on Hauptstrecke Hamburg Lübeck. We can see it there sitting in the station platform. The primary route for the DBBR218 loco add-on is the TrainSim World compatible Hauptstrecke Hamburg Lübeck route add-on. Here players can operate the 218 in timetable mode across 29 services. There's 15 RE83 services that run from Hamburg to Lübeck Kiel, hauling n-wagons. One RE83 service, 11446, from Hamburg to Lübeck, hauling BR112 and Dostos. Two RE85 services that run from Hamburg to Lübeck, Puttgarden, hauling Dostos. 11 freight services that run between Rothenburgsort and Lübeck using included freight. The 218 leads on northbound services. In addition, further services include 16 RE83 services that run from Lübeck to Hamburg using the n-wagen cab car. One RE83 service, 11447, that runs from Lübeck to Hamburg using the Dosto cab car with a 112 in the formation. One RE83 depot service, two RE85 services that run from Lübeck to Hamburg using the Dosto cab car. With the DBBR218 and all other layers, Hamburg-Lübeck now has 271 playable services. It's quite an improvement for that route. In addition to the BR218 layer, with this timetable update, owners of Niddeltalbahn will find that the DBBR628 in its modern red livery also now appears as AI at Lübeck Hauptbahnhof. The 218 is not required for this additional layer. 4 scenarios are also included for this route, covering both passenger and freight operations. On Maintalbahn, players with both Hamburg-Lübeck and Maintalbahn will be able to operate additional services on the more recent Maintalbahn route. This is to represent a period between December 2017 and 2018 where West Frankenbahn required additional traction to replace a DBBR 642 that had been allocated elsewhere. A DBBR 218 was provided. There are a total of 19 RB88 and a handful of shunting depot services. The 218 operated RB services instead of RE, as in reality RE services on the Maintalbahn operate on a request stop basis, but the Dostos have no ability to request a stop and the 218 driver wouldn't be able to see it, whereas the RB services are all stoppers anyway. Players can also enjoy express tile service in free roam to recreate the occasion of a 218 rail tour which arrived on the line in 2019. These locomotives, albeit in liveries not represented in game, also ran along the lines in Link Rheinstrecke and Niddeltalbahn, which players can choose to represent in free roam. TrainSim World 4 DBBR 218 Loco add-on will be available from the 25th of June for Xbox One, Xbox Series X and S, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Epic Games Store and Steam. And it will be £14.99, €17.99 and $17.99. So that's probably about 35 for the Aussies, I would imagine. You can join on, well, it's their launch day stream. So, well, there you go. They've got a launch day stream on the 25th of June. I'm allowed to show this, I believe. Let me just check. I'm allowed to show this on the 24th, which is the day before. Cool. So look forward to that. I'll be streaming this and I'll create my usual tutorials for the game to get people up and running. Alrighty, that's it for the news about the DBBR218. Looking forward to this one. I actually particularly looking forward to it because I didn't beta this one, so this is going to be new to me just like it is to you, which is kind of cool. Alright, have fun folks. See you later. Bye.